All right, our last example for this. Similar to the last one, we're not given even less information this time. It says write an equation of a circle with endpoints of the diameter at -3, 2, and 1, -10. So we're not given the center, we're going to have to figure that out. We're not given the radius, we're going to have to figure that out. You know, I always remember, what do I need? Center for h and k, the radius for this radius squared over here. So I'm going to start by graphing these 2 points, -3, 2. So -3 means go to the left 3 spaces, and then +2 up 2. And then the other one, +1 in the x direction to the right 1, and then -10 for the y is down 10 spaces. So there's our 2 endpoints for our diameter. So I know the diameter is a segment that goes through the center. The center's halfway in between that thing, so I'm going to draw that diameter in. So there's all the way across the circle, and the center is somewhere halfway in between here. So to find this center, I use the midpoint formula, which looks like this. It's, you know, add up the x coordinates, divide by 2, you'll get this x coordinate of the center. Add up these y coordinates and divide by 2, you'll get the y coordinate of that midpoint or center we're looking for. So let's see, the x coordinates are -3 and 1. So I'm going to add those up. -3 plus 1 is -2, and then divide by 2 would make -1. Then I look at the y coordinates, and are 2 and -10. So I'm going to add those up right here. 2 plus -10 is -8, divided by 2 is -4. So you add first with your calculator, get an answer, and divide by 2. So there's our center. I'll go ahead and graph that. You'll see it looks like it's in the center. So we got -1, go left 1, and then -4, down 4. So there's our center point right there. Now we can go ahead and substitute these. Once we got our center, we know we've got our h number and our k number from the formula. The center is at hk. Our h is right here next to x. So we get minus the h number, which is -1. And then remember, minus and negative, we really change that to that double sign to plus. K is the same way. We get y minus a -4. So minus and negative, we really change that double sign to plus. Now all we need is a radius. I'm going to use Pythagorean's theorem and draw a right triangle in here. I know here's the center, here's an endpoint. I want to know this distance right here. So I can draw in a right triangle right here and solve for this radius right here, which is the hypotenuse of this right triangle, by knowing these distances. Going straight down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces there, and 2 across down here on the bottom. So this right triangle will have 2, 6, and the radius here is this hypotenuse. So with Pythagorean's theorem over here, I get 6 squared plus 2 squared equals the radius squared, that side squared. And I put this in my calculator. 6 squared plus 2 squared is 40, equals the radius squared. Now we don't have to solve for r here because we want the radius squared in our formula is 40. So now I can put this 40 in place of the radius squared, and I'm finished. Remember, we change those minus negatives to pluses. Here was our midpoint formula to find the midpoint between the diameter points right here. Get our h and k, our center. And then set up a little right triangle here to solve for this radius. Alright, got one more quick check to do, and then after we check that, we'll go ahead and work on the practice problems. Good work.